Geert Hofstede, Cultures and Organizations, Software of the Mind. Dive into cultures and organizations, software of the mind, to explore the fascinating world of cultural differences and their impact on human behavior. This book, authored by Geert Hofstede, reveals the essential elements of culture, such as power distance, individualism, masculinity/femininity, uncertainty avoidance, and long-term versus short-term orientation. You'll discover how these dimensions shape the way people think, feel, and act, and how understanding them is crucial to fostering successful cross-cultural interactions. Get ready to embark on an enlightening journey that will not only deepen your appreciation for the richness of human diversity, but also equip you with the tools to navigate a multicultural world.
The Power of Culture. The author recounts Owen James Stevens' experiment where he observed how students from different European countries tackled the same problem. Though not scientific, the experiment's results were revealing. Stevens' findings suggested that people from different nations approach problem-solving differently and that culture plays a fundamental role in shaping these behaviors. The dominant characteristics that give rise to our attitudes and actions come from culture, which is mutually shared, learned, and persistent. Culture then becomes a mental program that operates on our mental hardware, influencing our behavior, personality, and perception of the world around us. This summary emphasizes the importance of understanding cultural nuances when engaging with people from different backgrounds. The dimensions of cultural differences. The world is an intricate mosaic of different cultures, each possessing unique symbols, heroes, rituals, and values. When studying culture, social scientists face the challenge of selecting relevant dimensions to measure. To address this, they look at common problems faced by social groups worldwide, including an individual's relationship to authority, concepts of self, and conflict resolution. Through this problem-based approach, 5 dimensions of cultural difference emerge. These dimensions highlight the fascinating variations in beliefs and behaviors that make our world culturally rich and diverse. Power distance in cultural differences. The concept of power distance refers to the emotional distance between superiors and inferiors. In some countries, people accept unequal distribution of power while in others, they don't. This was illustrated in the case of King Charles XIV, who as a Frenchman, was shocked by the lack of deference shown by Swedish parliamentarians. The Power Distance Index, PDI, measures the degree of acceptance of inequality, and its scores range from 11 to 104. Countries such as Ireland, New Zealand, Denmark, Israel, and Austria, which prefer a consultative management style, have a low index, while Malaysia, several Latin American countries, some Arab countries, and France have a high PDI. This preference for a more paternalistic and autocratic boss is explained by factors such as family structure and socialization. The author emphasizes that cultural differences mostly reside in practices than values, and what is an asset in one purpose may be a liability for another. Individualism versus collectivism. In most societies, group interests take precedence over individual interests. However, a small minority of people live in individualistic societies where individual interests are more important. The Individualism Index, IDV, has been used to quantify the degree of individualism in various countries, with the United States having the highest score of 91. Latin American countries tend to be more collectivist, while countries like Jamaica, Iran, and Japan fall in the middle. The strong uncertainty avoidance sentiment in some societies emphasizes xenophobia and the fear of what is different. The roots of national scores on the IDV remain speculative. The concept of individualism versus collectivism remains a relevant discussion in today's globalized world. In most societies, group interests take precedence over individual interests. People in collectivist societies typically view themselves as members of groups, and their loyalty is expected in exchange for protection. On the other hand, a small minority of people live in individualistic societies, where individual interests reign supreme, and extended families are given less importance. The Individualism Index, IDV, was introduced to quantify the degree of individualism across different countries. The United States tops the chart, followed by Britain and former British colonies like Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. At the other end of the ranking are many Latin American countries, such as Ecuador, Panama, Venezuela, Colombia, and Guatemala, who are more collectivistic. Many countries occupy the middle ground, including Jamaica, Iran, and Japan. The strong uncertainty avoidance sentiment prevalent in some societies emphasizes xenophobia, with the widespread belief that what is different is dangerous. However, the origins of national scores on the IDV remain unknown, although high individualism correlates with high GDP and high collectivism with high birth rates. Masculinity and femininity in society. When it comes to choosing between a high-paying job with career growth opportunities or a job with good relationships and job security, your decision reflects how much you value masculinity. In masculine societies, people are expected to prioritize earning, recognition, advancement, and competition. In contrast, feminine societies prioritize equality, modesty, and cooperation. These cultural differences are not strictly linked to gender, as masculine societies can have women scoring high in masculinity, while men in feminine societies score lower. The top masculine countries are Japan, Austria, Venezuela, Italy, and Switzerland, while the top feminine countries are Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Costa Rica. The influence of culture is strong, and no aspect of our lives is immune to it. Understanding uncertainty. Different people react to uncertainty differently, and this is not the same as risk. The higher the uncertainty avoidance score, the more detail-oriented and risk-averse one tends to be. This also affects work cultures, with some preferring rigid rules and others embracing innovation. Life is a journey filled with surprises, and this creates a sense of uncertainty. However, how we react to uncertainty varies across cultures and individuals. Uncertainty is not synonymous with risk. Risk can be quantified and is usually linked to potential threats. Uncertainty, on the other hand, is more generalized and stems from a dislike of ambiguity. Uncertainty avoidance is usually more pronounced in countries with high UAI scores. Such individuals prefer a highly detailed structure with a low tolerance for risk and innovation. This preference is evident in the workplace, where they prefer strict rules, detailed instructions, and clear job descriptions. Countries with high UAI scores include Greece, Portugal, Guatemala, Uruguay, Belgium, and Japan. However, people with low UAI scores are more open to innovation and risk. They tend to tolerate ambiguity and do things to achieve self-esteem or to belong. They prefer minimal rules and tend to embrace innovative and deviant ideas. Countries that score low on UAI include Singapore, Jamaica, Denmark, Sweden, and Hong Kong. Understanding uncertainty and how it affects people is crucial in today's global setting. This knowledge can help individuals and organizations effectively navigate cross-cultural environments. The East and West divide. The East and West exhibit differences in long and short-term orientation and their attitudes towards truth and virtue. These differences are grounded in historical and philosophical factors such as Confucian ideas that emphasize a broad purpose over immediate needs. While this divide may seem cultural, it has real implications that impact how societies save, spend, and approach their obligations. China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea exhibit a higher long-term orientation than European countries, while Pakistan and Nigeria have high short-term orientation. The differences are exemplified in the Western focus on quick results and keeping up with social trends at the cost of savings and tradition, while the Eastern orientation towards virtue prioritizes perseverance, thriftiness, and adapting to new contexts while respecting tradition. The divide is not absolute, with some Muslim countries falling more towards the eastern or western end of the spectrum. Ultimately, these differences suggest that a worldwide homogenization of cultural mental programs is still far away. Thriving in a multicultural world. To succeed in a diverse world, understanding one's own culture and other cultures is crucial. Parents should expose their children to diverse cultures from an early age, while individuals should learn new languages. The media must move beyond one-sided and negative portrayals of other nations. Additionally, business and political leaders must demonstrate intercultural empathy. While cooperating on a global scale is challenging, the first step in embracing diversity is to recognize the value of doing so.
In conclusion, Cultures and Organizations, Software of the Mind, sheds valuable light on the distinguishing characteristics of various cultures and their implications in the globalized world. As you've learned from the summary, culture plays a profound role in influencing people's mental software, their ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. Amid growing multiculturalism, understanding the 5 dimensions of cultural differences, power distance, individualism, masculinity/femininity, uncertainty avoidance, and long-term versus short-term orientation, is vital for fostering meaningful and harmonious interactions among individuals and organizations. By promoting intercultural understanding, we can cultivate a more inclusive and cooperative world that thrives on the beauty of our diverse human tapestry.